Imagine a guy coming into the NBA as the third overall pick, a guy that is 6'6", long and athletic, a guy who is one of the best two-way players in the league as he can lock you up on one end and give you 20 plus on the other end. A guy that has improved every single year of his career so far and is still improving. A guy that can put up 40 points in 3 quarters. That guy was one of, if not the most underrated player in the NBA until this season. Many people believe that Jaylen Brown was overpaid with his 4-year, $115 million contract extension. Now Jaylen has caught the attention of everybody in the NBA as he's making a statement early this season. After his 42-point and 3-quarter performance on December 30th against the Grizzlies and his 31 points on 13 of 16 shooting against the Pistons, Jaylen has let the entire league know that he is an all-star caliber player. Jaylen Brown is one of many NBA players under the age of 25 that will run the league once this era of stars get older. His ascension over the course of his young career thus far is something to be excited about for Celtics fans and for NBA fans in general. Him alongside Jayson Tatum creates a great dynamic duo for right now and possibly the next 10 years or so. Let's look at how Jaylen Brown was one of the most underrated players in the league for a while as he's now finally getting his respect. So in the first 5 games this season, Jaylen Brown is averaging 28 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists on 56% shooting from the field and 44% from 3. Now obviously those shooting splits will dip at least a little bit this season, but he's always been one of the more efficient players in the league at his position. He has shot 45% or better in every single season of his career. That's very impressive. He has improved his offensive game every single season. Just look at the eye test. In his rookie year, he was a spot-up shooter and a defender that could drive at times. In his next 2 seasons, he developed his offensive game and became a better ball handler, getting to the basket more and more, and he improved his 3-point shot. Now he's averaging over 20 points per game. He can handle the ball, get to the rim whenever he wants, pull it from 3 and mid-range while staying efficient. Not to mention he's always been an exceptional defender even early on in his career. With all that being said, he was still not talked about as much as other young stars around the league. Jayson Tatum usually gets most of the headlines and publicity, and deservedly so. He's near the top of the list when we talk about young stars under 25 years old. He's one of the best scorers in the league, but you can possibly argue that Jaylen Brown is more consistent than Jayson Tatum and more important to the Celtics' success than Jayson Tatum. Don't get me wrong, I still believe that Jayson Tatum is a better NBA player. NBA fans have overreacted to the early part of the season and think that Brown is better than Tatum. Stop it, it's just 6 or 7 games in right now. I will say that the gap between these two guys is way smaller than we all thought it was, but Jaylen has never really had that opportunity to shine. Going back to his rookie season, like I said, he was used as a 3-and-D rotational piece as it was the Isaiah Thomas show followed by Al Horford and Avery Bradley. In the next 2 years, he was at best the second option with the Celtics' additions of Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward and the emergence of Jayson Tatum. Brown got lost in the mix at times. It seemed like he had regressed, but in actuality, there were just too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. The Celtics had so many great offensive weapons at their disposal, and it actually became a negative for the team as a whole. Due to the fact that in the 2018 playoffs with no Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown got 15 shots a game in the playoffs, Terry Rozier got 14 shots a game in the playoffs, and Jayson Tatum also had 14 shots a game in those playoffs. And that team was very successful as they surprisingly made the Eastern Conference Finals. That run they had was the best thing to happen to those young players. They showed the world what they were capable of with more shot attempts. With that being said, those guys did not prosper once Kyrie and Gordon returned in 2019 as the team struggled to find their roles all season long, which subsequently led to their premature exit in the playoffs, losing to the Bucks in the second round. All of Brown, Tatum, and Rozier took less than 14 shots a game, which was the reason why Brown and Tatum did not look too good and why Rozier left for the Charlotte Hornets after that season. In 2020, Jaylen Brown averaged 20 points per game and started to live up to his potential offensively. He did more on that side of the court than he had ever had in his career up to that point. We're talking about off the dribble, catch and shoot, getting to the rim, mid-range, and also 3-pointers. In many people's eyes, he was snubbed for the All-Star game in 2020 as he was also one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. Brown took about 16 shots during the 2020 season, and again, he's efficient as all hell, shooting 48% from the field and improving his 3-point shooting to 38%. And now this is when some people started to believe that Jaylen Brown was indeed actually better than Jayson Tatum. I have a message for those people. Slow the hell down. No, Jaylen Brown is not better than Jayson Tatum, but the gap is a lot closer than we thought before. I do see that Brown at times can be more consistent than Tatum, as well as more important to the Celtics' success than Tatum. We can look back just a couple months ago to the 2020 playoffs. Yes, we all know that Jayson Tatum is the primary scorer on the team, which means defenses will focus more on him, but that does not let you off the hook when it comes to consistency. As for Brown possibly being more important to the Celtics' success than Tatum, I will first say that I am aware that Tatum's a very good defender. He uses his length to disrupt offenses 24/7, but Jaylen Brown is just on another level in my eyes. Look back at the Raptors series where Pascal Siakam had one of the worst playoff series I've ever seen from an All-Star. Jaylen Brown has so much to do with that, as he put Spicy P in a prison cell for 7 games. While guarded by Jaylen Brown, Siakam's stat line looks like this: 43 total points on 19 of 43 shooting, which isn't really bad, but 2 of 12 from 3, and he only gave up 5 free throw attempts while guarding Pascal Siakam, which made him largely ineffective for the better part of that series. Keep in mind that the Raptors took that series to the last minutes of Game 7. If it wasn't for Jaylen Brown's effort defensively, and a few other things of course, the Celtics probably would have been bounced in the second round. On the offensive side, Brown had a huge impact as well. In that same Raptors series, in the final 3 games, Tatum averaged 25 points per game, but only on 39% shooting from the field. Granted, Tatum shot well from 3, shot 9 free throws per game, and averaged 12 rebounds per game during that 3-game stretch. Jaylen Brown, on the other hand, locked up Siakam on one end and put up 26 points per game on a staggering 48% shooting from the field, as he also grabbed 10 plus rebounds in those final 3 games. That's just a little glimpse of the impact that Jaylen Brown has on the Celtics, and he will be a huge key for the Celtics moving forward. I will go as far as to say that he will be an essential piece, maybe the most important piece for the Celtics, if they do indeed make it to the finals or even win a championship. With all that being said, I do think Jaylen Brown will become an All-Star for the first time this season. He has had a tremendous start, and I think that will sustain itself to some degree, especially with Kemba Walker being out. And with that being said, let me know how y'all feel about Jaylen Brown. Is he an All-Star this season? Do you even think that he's better than Jayson Tatum right now? I really don't believe that, but if you do, let me know. Where does Jaylen Brown currently rank among NBA players? And if he keeps this up, do the Celtics have a real shot of making the NBA Finals? As we know, the Eastern Conference has got way better this season in comparison to the previous years. It's way more competitive at the top. So do you think the Celtics have a real shot at making the NBA Finals if Jaylen Brown continues to play like this? Obviously, we need to see if Kemba Walker gets back and healthy and starts playing like himself again. But if he keeps playing like this, I could see the Celtics very well being in the NBA Finals in 2021. But y'all let me know. This is Jimmy from Just the Facts, and I'm signing out. Peace.